what's today's date? The May 22nd Airport Commission meeting to order. If we could all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. No public notices. Susan, roll call, please.
Chairperson Asonia.
Here.
Commissioner Bennett.
Here.
Commissioner Bigham.
Present.
Commissioner Contreras.
Present.
Commissioner Seguel.
Present.
Commissioner Schumacher.
Present.
And Commissioner McGregor did notify that he would be absent today.
Okay. Public comments? Time constraints, you're not going to take okay. All righty, I want to move on down to the consent agenda. It's the meeting minutes from April 24th. It is the operations report and the fuel flowage report. Would anybody like any of those items pulled? Have any questions or corrections to any of those items? And if good as presented, I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Shoemaker.
To accept.
Second, okay. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Consideration, amendment number 1 to the communication site lease agreement between the City of Salinas and T-Mobile West. Is that the old Gomes or the, wasn't that AT&T's building at one point in time?
No, this is the,
Pac Bell building, okay. I knew it was somebody's. Yeah.
Excuse me, Chair, do you want me to say roll call to solidify the motion and the second?
That's right, yes.
Chairperson Asonia.
Aye.
Commissioner Bennett.
Aye.
Commissioner Bigham.
Aye.
Commissioner Contreras.
aye.
Commissioner Seguel. Commissioner Schumacher.
Aye.
Okay, Matt.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, fellow commissioners. Welcome to the meeting today. In front of you is a commission staff report on a very straightforward lease amendment for our site there for T-Mobile West LLC. Essentially, we're asking you to recommend to City Council that this lease be amended for 5 years, and then after that, it'll be another 20 years, which at that point, after the first 5 years, we can stop the lease with 9 days. Very straightforward. They were very customer. They pay the bills on time. $1,600 a month is what we receive a month. It's essentially passive income. What I did make of this was a CPI annual increase to follow plus 1%. They didn't balk at it, so that's what I have in front of you folks. Entertain any questions?
Any?
I have a question. Is that the standard fair market value for communications rental or lease?
This is not turning on here.
We can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
The question, Chairman, was, is it a standard market?
Yes, like fair market value.
It is. You know, we actually asked other airports in the vicinity, and said they're actually went through similar negotiations as well, and one of them was not included in 1%. They're just following CPI, so we're a little richer than what they're proposing to their cell phone providers. So.
Two questions, and they're probably easily answered, just not in front of me. I noticed the original lease was with Pac Bell, but in the paperwork, even though there was stuff from the original, I assume at some point the name changed and that was captured?
It was captured.
Okay. And then the second was, I assume that the insurance rate is higher than we see in the original also.
That is correct.
Okay.
Good point there, yes.
All right. was like, ooh, this is a little low.
That's a great question about the insurance department. So in the original leases, you'll see wildly low. Hangers keeper insurance was, what was that, Jim, when you first started renting hangers? It was probably $250,000 back when you first started.
I don't recall.
Yeah. So today, we look at it annually, all of our leases, to see if we have a compliance department within the city to make sure that we're covered. So yes, to answer your question.
Okay, then now I've come up with another question I meant to write down earlier, I forgot. So the tower that they're using, is that the one that's right there near the old office? That's the old, where the light was? Is that the city's tower, or do they own that tower now?
That is airport property,
Okay,
under airport property.
okay.
And incidentally, even though this is unrelated to this lease, there's now expressed interest from another provider to lease the tower portion below that site. And so if that comes through, then it'll be a similar lease that I'll present to you folks to then recommend hopefully to city council. So it's a great money maker, it's passive income essentially. You essentially write a pen and ink on the airport master plan, and they will come out and do the structural integrity test on the old rotating beacon, so it is really nothing out of pocket for the airport.
Good, sweet, thank you.
Any other, go ahead.
And we have another tower on the airport over by the shade tie downs,
Yes.
where they own the whole tower. So we've got 2 towers on the property.
So that tower that Commissioner Schumacher referred to, that's actually owned by that provider, not our property. The beacon is our property.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? And a motion to recommend the amendment to the communication site lease agreement between the City of Salinas and T-Mobile West LLC to the City Council for passage. Do I have a motion?
Go ahead.
As stated,
Okay, and,
or move or second.
okay. We got a motion and a second. John did? Mr. Okay. Yes. Everybody's, yeah.
Roll call.
Yes, please.
Chairperson Osonia,
Aye.
Commissioner Bennett,
Aye.
Commissioner Bigham,
Aye.
Commissioner Contreras,
Aye.
Commissioner Seguill,
Aye.
Commissioner Schumacher.
Aye.
Okay. The next item we're at administrative reports.
All right, if I could draw your attention back to the operations report. You can see month over month, starting with the month of December 2024, operations which constitute a takeoff and landing have increased month over month since December. So we look at the top line of 2024, 4,765 operations in December. Is higher from 2023 of 3,005. So if you look at also then January 2025, we're up from January, February, March, and April. And what do I equate that to? Yes, we've had better weather, less rain, less fog, but I also think it's our ability with our good staff to really focus on having aircraft that are operational in hangars. And we're less of a storage unit at the airport, we've got more planes flying. And also we have a up-and-coming flight school too, which is going to increase our activities down the road. So I think it's going to increase overall. And again, this helps, it's a trickle effect because people spend more time at the airport, they go to the restaurant, you have more fuel flow fees at 10 cents per gallon for a roulette. Jet A at 13 cents, which will soon change to 14 cents a gallon if it is passed through City Council's budget. And also operations with Gillespie Delta Airspace with the tower. So I'm really pleased to see these operations increasing and not going the other way, like some airports are
Yeah.
experiencing. Any questions or comments about that? Thank you, Jim, for flying so much.
I have noticed that there is more training going on and the pattern is fuller now. It's getting back to normal before COVID times.
And that might be another reason too. Less COVID and people are feeling better and.
There's more training going on, more, to talk to more people that are doing it.
Trying to articulate the message that we are open for business, we're a general aviation airport to support general aviation. And so I think it's been known, and whereas Monterey is a great airport for commercial service, it is getting a little squeezed with their frequency of jets and scheduled traffic. It's harder and harder to train at airports like that. Watsonville also is a busy airport on the weekends, and because of that, it's a little bit easier to fly with a controlled airspace environment. All right, next up, update will be the fuel flowage report two. For our new commissioners, I wanted to point out, let's take a look at the top left, the Hunter Well lead. So if you see January 2025 with 100 low lead is essentially aviation gas for small airplanes, a reciprocating engine, so not a turbine, not a jet. In the month of January, no fuel was purchased. So anytime Gate 1 purchases a load of fuel, we then realize that we get passed through with the fuel flowage of 10 cents. So if you look at 2024, December, Ryan and his FBO purchased 8,326 gallons in the month of December 2024. He was able to, based on lack of demand, did not purchase fuel in January, but then in the month of February 2025 bought 11,953 gallons of fuel. So that's how that works with why you might see a zero in a particular month. If you look at Jet A, you won't see zeros because we really dump a lot more fuel there with the aircraft that come in. Light jets, Ospreys, the hot fueling at the airport there with even C-130s at hot fuel. So if we were to look at the gallons, with Hunter Lola, it's increasing year over year, month over month, which is good for us. And then if you look at the Jet A fuel sales, this is where we're really seeing a good bump on fuel purchases. And so January hit off very well. Look at the difference between 2025 and 2024, 31,107 versus 92,740. Really happy with those numbers there. I'm going to equate this to Gate 1, formerly known as Monterey, as Jet West. They are so good at what they do with customer service, and I'm so pleased that when he sold, I'm sad he sold the business, but the new provider is Thomas Matthews, has done a great job in just really reiterating and counting in his clients, or his employees, and customer service is paramount to survival of a small company. So really pleased with those numbers. All right. Further, please. Okay, here's an update on the airport's restaurant terminal rehabilitation project. We couldn't fit enough words in there. So this is a PowerPoint picture I showed last month on our vision for the patio at Flying Archer. Those triangular things you see against the blue sky, those are called sails. So we just purchased today the various sails of the salon. Now I'll make it official. So we purchased the sails that you see. There's about 4 of them in there. We're going to have 3, I think, Earl? 3 sails?
I think we
went with 3.
Right. I thought we,
2, okay, 2 sails. We'll have lights underneath, low emitting lights of not too bright lights for mood. A green AstroTurf for the ground. We also have delivery of, if you can hit the next slide. Actually, go back, please. Trees, go back 1 slide, please. Sorry. We'll have potted plants, trees, non-bearing fruit, olive trees. And also we've taken out all of the old plants in front of Jonathan's restaurant there. Kept a couple of them. It looks good, doesn't it? Yep. And also, there was an area that was full of, there was a little water fountain feature that wasn't connected. And we have now taken all that out. All the older oak barrels, wine barrels, moved all the succulents. The whole area is clear. If you've not seen it yet, it looks really empty and barren. We added concrete with the city's help 2 days ago. A mixing truck came in and dumped really nice new concrete. What we intend to do now is have this all built out at the end of the month, and so it'll be open, and I think we're gonna have a little celebration party. Jonathan's gonna help
We'll
put together.
plan on that one.
Yeah, plan, that'll be a lot of fun. Next slide, please. In front of the airport, we took delivery, thanks to Jay Jefferson, this enormous rock feature. This rock weighs about 1,500 pounds. And with our neighbors at Archer Aviation, they brought in a lift to move this rock over. And what we're going to do is, it's shaped somewhat like an obelisk, and we're going to have the three-letter airport identifier of SNS on the front of that there to welcome the folks into the
Oh, excuse me, what letters?
SNS,
And what do they stand for?
Salinas Municipal Airport. It's the it's
M, I thought, okay.
Sierra November Sierra, Salinas.
Oh, okay, I didn't, okay. I don't think I've ever heard the letters before.
Okay, so that's it's for pilots, but it'll be a nice little focal point there. Next slide, please. Bottom left, you can see the big pots we got over in Moss Landing, and the top left are the succulents that are now in our work yard, old barrels. Those items you see in the middle are
You should have sold
poles.
those.
Pardon?
You should have sold those wine barrels of succulents. There's $100 a piece there.
Well, I think we're going to still use them, but
yeah.
we moved everything over. Let's see, where was I? Oh, the poles. So those
The
poles, we have 3 poles there. Those are custom manufactured poles. They'll be stood upright at the airport, and that'll hold those strung sails and the lights for mood effect. You can see on the top right the concrete patch that was covered yesterday. So it's an empty field, and it's ready for us to add the beautiful plants and lights and sails. All right, what's the next picture we have here? Airport fly-in. We had the airport fly-in a few weeks ago. It was pretty successful. The weather didn't cooperate. It was pretty chilly, not very warm. I think we had about 200 to 250 attendees. That was shot by Ivan, one of our ops guys, with his drone. And we've got a Stearman there, a light sport. I recognize a Citabria, a decathlon. And then we had exotic cars come in too. So it was a car club from San Jose. With that, we had 2 or 3 food carts and vendors, and then people selling their wares inside the Gate 1 hangar there. So it was successful. It was good. We didn't really sell a lot of gas necessarily because of the fog, and people just weren't able to fly in with the low weather. What we intend to do is hold quarterly flying events, and we're going to move over to in front of the Flying Artichoke restaurant, and we'll have it more centralized over there. All right, next slide, please.
Quick question, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So you think in quarterly, are you going to try and set like a consistent date, or is it kind of going to roll around a little bit?
Good question. I think we have to obviously work our way around special events. Sometimes we'll have a band or concert come in to play, or there might be the Tavares Family Car Show. So we'd like to have it quarterly, but it's going to be in the air show too. So we'll have to work around those key dates.
I was talking to Aaron about that, and one of the things that we want to add, if we can have some vendors, out in front where the airfield is, there's not being the parking for the plane. Yeah, if we can do that, if we become successful in the next one, that's what we're looking at. I think he talked to you about it too.
Yep. All right. Thank you. Okay, so the last informational update here is the DBE report. I think the commission's familiar with DBE reports. This is actually being run through Public Works and downtown. It does touch on the airport to some extent. Anytime you receive DOT funds, Department of Transportation funds, we have to have a DBE plan in effect. The consensus was with the city to remain at the 6.7% goal. That stays the same. The FAA will be happy with that. And our forecasted expenses of contract amounts will be about $3.5 million, and that's from 2025 fiscal year to 2027. That is subject to change. If we do more enhancements and receive more federal funding, you're going to see that go up, and possibly down, but I think it'll go up. That goes before City Council June 3rd.
What proposed construction projects are on the airport coming up in the next several months?
The next several months, it would be the taxi lane rehab, and we're still working on that. There was the feds, so for the new commissioners, there's a section of the taxi lane on the south side that needs to be rehabbed. And so it's a mill and fill type procedure. The FAA, while the contractor held their bid for 90 days, the FAA was slow to give us the award. And it was well past the 90 days. So we went back to the contractor, and understandably, they said, no, we can't hold the price. And so now we're working on, and this will be presented to the commission, of asking for more money and letting you know that because of the fuel, the oil prices, it's going to be a more expensive procedure, rehab. It's got to be done. It's one of those things, Diane, that if you wait too long at Alligators, it makes it more expensive.
Do you have any idea how much it's going to go up?
It's going to be out of pocket, probably about $90,000. And I'm going to say it's because we didn't get word from the FAA in a timely manner. Had we gotten the award, we wouldn't
Well, we all know who we can blame that on.
be having this discussion. This happened back in I think Brett submitted this, and then we're supposed to get the award back in February. So, all right, and that concludes my report. Are there any questions?
Any questions or comments? Okay, there's one thing that, it's not on the agenda, but it's more of a general comment. For those of you who knew Bob Bolton, he passed away a few weeks ago. So I just he was a fixture on the airport, he was a personal friend of mine, and for a long time I was running into him every morning at the Cherry Bean when I swung in there after the gym, and we'd have a quick chat, so I don't know if we could do anything, I mean, at the airport,
They're
or,
having something at the airport for him. The family have contacted me,
okay.
and they plan on June 14th, I think.
See, I won't be here.
So, well, they're not fixed on date because they're trying to work it with the SOFA. When the SOFA
Right,
gonna
right.
do theirs, and the family wants their own.
Okay.
So,
So when we get the date confirmed, we'll send out an e-blast on that.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Yeah, I was not happy when I heard that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quite a surprise.
Yes, and considering the circumstances around it too, it was very sad,
That's too bad.
yeah. Any other questions or comments?
Did we need a motion on this recommendation, or is it just going?
It's not our recommendation because it's going to be going through Public Works. It's
Oh,
just a-
okay.
It's
I was
just a,
It said recommended motion, so I just went with it. Okay.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, you're welcome. All right, next meeting date's June 26th. Mark your calendars. And that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Meeting adjourned at, I cannot see that far. 6:24.